everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to crochet the Little Rock Slouch Hat, which you can see here in front of you in the photo. There's other photos on richtexturescrochet.com. I also have my sample one here for you. So this is a slouch hat. The brim is a little bit smaller than the main body of the hat, which is quite loose and will sit with a slouch on your head. This hat is fairly quick and easy to work up. It features some gorgeous texture throughout the midsection and then a beautiful kind of flat back. You can wear it with a pom-pom or without. It's really up to you, but I think you're just going to absolutely love it. So today for the tutorial, you're going to need a worsted weight yarn. I'm using the Heartland yarn by Lion brand. This is a worsted weight 100% acrylic. There's about 250 yards per ball. You're not going to need the whole ball of yarn. There will be some left over should you choose to make a pom-pom for the top of your hat. You're also going to need an H8 crochet hook, as well as a copy of the free written instructions, which are on my website at richtexturescrochet.com. The size we're going to make today, and that's included in the pattern, is for an adult, so with a 20 to 22 inch circumference for the head. I'll give you some instruction later on how to change the size of your hat if you'd like to do that. So once again, don't forget to subscribe. Take a look around. This channel is updated every week with new free crochet patterns and stitch tutorials. And there are many other crochet hats and headbands here that you may want to take a look at. Now our hat today is worked from the brim up. We're going to work the brim of our hat in rows. So we're going to start by making a slip knot and a foundation chain. And for your foundation chain today, you're going to chain 10 stitches. Once you've chained 10, if you want, you can make your brim thicker or thinner. It's up to you. Just chain more or less chains. Once you've chained 10, you're going to begin row 1 by working a slip stitch into the second chain from your hook, and then slip stitch into each stitch all the way across. You will have 9 stitches at the end of row 1. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 2 and for the rest of the rows in the brim, so you're going to repeat this row 2, you're simply going to slip stitch into the back loop only of the first stitch and each stitch across. So to find your back loop only, if you look at the top of your stitch, you have this loop that's closest to you. That's your front loop. The one that's furthest away from you at the top of your stitch is your back loop. So you're going to slip stitch in that back loop only of the first stitch, and then into each stitch all the way across. You should continue to have 9 stitches. At the end of your row 2, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, slip stitch into that first stitch, working in the back loop only, and then slip stitch into each stitch all the way across. Your turning chain, that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So always make sure that you're just working into the original crochet stitches. Chain 1, turn, and slip stitch into the back loop only all the way across. You're going to continue to repeat this until your work from the beginning measures approximately 16 to 17 inches, and that's when the fabric is relaxed. So when the fabric is stretched, it should fit a 20 to 22 inch circumference. If you're finding that it's still a little bit snug or it's a little bit too loose, depending on the yarn, you can just add more or less rows, and that's the same for if you want to adjust the size overall in the hat. You're just going to work to your desired circumference. Repeat that. Once you have 16 to 17 inches, you can meet me back here. Once you have worked the brim of your hat to 16 to 17 inches, this is what your work's going to look like from the beginning. Do not fasten off, but you're going to take the brim of your hat and fold it so that the two shorter ends meet. You can then go ahead and chain one, and we're going to slip stitch these two shorter ends together. So what you're going to do is insert your hook into the back loop only of the first side, and then into the corresponding stitch on the other side, back loop only, insert your hook and work a slip stitch. You're going to work slip stitches through both thicknesses, both back loops only of each side, all the way across. Once again, you'll have 9 slip stitches. Once you come across, you can chain one, turn your brim so that it is right side out. You want that seam to be on the inside, and you're all ready to start the body of your hat. For round 1 of the hat body, we're going to work 72 single crochet stitches evenly all the way around this rough edge. So if you need to, you may find it's helpful to mark about halfway. Work half your stitches on one side, half your stitches on the other side. But the goal is to have 72 single crochet stitches spread evenly all the way around the brim of your hat. To change the size of your hat, you're going to need a multiple of 3 stitches for this starting round. So today, for the adult size, we're going to work 72. Once you come all the way around, working 72 single crochet, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet stitch. You're then going to continue working in the same direction, and you're going to chain one. Work a single crochet stitch into that first stitch, which is your same stitch as joining. Next, chain 3. You're then going to work a long double crochet into the side of the previous single crochet stitch. So this is our single crochet stitch, so you're working right into that post. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, and finish. Yarn over, draw a loop, yarn over and pull through 1 loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. That's your long double crochet. You're then going to skip the next 2 stitches and single crochet into your next stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way around. Chain 3, work a long double crochet into the side of that single crochet stitch, skip the next 2 stitches, and single crochet into your next stitch. Repeat this all the way around, and you're going to finish off by joining with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. When you come all the way around, you're going to finish off working a long double crochet and skip your next 2 stitches, then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. You can then chain 1 and you're going to continue working in the same direction. For round 3, you're going to single crochet into the next chain 3 space. You're then going to chain 3 and work a puff stitch into the same space. Just going to remove the knot there from my yarn. To work your puff stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain 3 space, yarn over and drop a loop, and do that 3 times. There's once, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain 3 space, yarn over, drop a loop. One more time, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain 3 space, yarn over and drop a loop. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. You're then going to chain 1. Into the next chain 3 space, work a single crochet, chain 3, and puff stitch into the same chain 3 space. Chain 1. Into the next puff stitch, you're going to repeat. And you're going to repeat this all the way around your beanie. At the end of your round 3, you're going to finish off with a chain 1, then join with a slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet stitch. You're then going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now for round 4, we're going to work a single crochet, inserting our hook across the 2 front loops of our next puff stitch. So when you're looking at the back of your puff stitch, you'll see kind of 2 loops going across the back of them. These 2 right here. So you're going to insert your hook under those 2 loops and into the next chain 3 space and work a single crochet. You can then chain 3 and work a puff stitch back into the same chain 3 space. Chain 1. You're going to repeat that all the way around. So single crochet, inserting your hook under the front or the back 2 loops of that puff stitch into the chain 3 space, single crochet, chain 3, and puff stitch into the chain 3 space. You're going to repeat this all the way around, finish off with that chain 1 and join with a slip stitch to the top of your first stitch, chain 1, and turn your work. You're going to repeat this round 4 for rounds 5 through to 10. So for rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, the next 6 rounds, you're going to repeat this round 4 and then meet me back here at the end of round 10. Of course, those written instructions are over on richtexturescrochet.com if you'd like to head over there so that you can follow along. Repeat round 4. Once you come to the end of round 10, this is what your work is going to look like. From the bottom up through to the top, you'll have ended on a wrong side row, so you want to chain 1 and then turn your work. Make sure that the right side of your work is facing for this next round. Now for round 11, with that right side facing, we're going to work a single crochet into each single crochet stitch. So into our first single crochet, the same one as joining, and then work 2 single crochets into each chain 3 space. You're going to repeat that all the way around. Single crochet into the next single crochet stitch and work 2 single crochet stitches into the next chain 3 space, all the way around until you come to your first stitch, and you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. At the end of this round, you will want to make sure that you have 72 stitches. You should have the same number now that you started off with. So single crochet in each single crochet and 2 single crochets in each chain 3 space, all the way around, join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. At the end of round 11, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet stitch, and you can chain 3. Your chain 3 will count as a double crochet stitch here and throughout. For round 12, you're going to work a double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. You're then going to work a double crochet 2 together. To work the double crochet 2 together, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and drop a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You're then going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's your double crochet 2 together. You're then going to work a double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. Followed by a double crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat this all the way around, double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches, followed by a double crochet 2 together, and then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. At the end of your round 12, you're going to join with a slip stitch just into the top of your starting chain 3. Continue working in the same direction, chain 3, which counts as a double crochet stitch. You're then going to work a double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. And work a double crochet 2 stitches together. Double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. And double crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat this all the way around, double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches, followed by a double crochet 2 stitches together until you come to your first stitch, and you will join with a slip stitch into the top of that starting chain 3. At the end of your round 13, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. You'll have a total of 54 stitches. You're then going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. You're then going to work a double crochet 2 stitches together. Next, work a double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. And work a double crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat this all the way around, double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches, followed by a double crochet 2 stitches together, all the way around until you come to your first stitch. Then you will join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. At the end of your round 14, you're joining with a slip stitch into the top of your starting chain 3. You'll have a total of 45 stitches. You're then going to chain 3 for your round 15, double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then double crochet 2 stitches together. Double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and double crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, followed by double crochet 2 stitches together until you come to that starting chain 3, and you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your starting chain 3. At the end of your round 15, you'll have a total of 36 stitches. For round 16, you're going to chain 3, work a double crochet into the next stitch, followed by a double crochet 2 stitches together. You're then going to double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and double crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat this all the way around, double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then double crochet 2 stitches together. All the way around until you come back to your starting chain 3. When you come back to your starting chain 3, you can join with a slip stitch into the top. At the end of your round 16, you're going to have a total of 27 stitches. For round 17, you're going to chain 3 and double crochet 2 stitches together. Double crochet into the next stitch and double crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat this all the way around, double crochet into your next stitch and double crochet 2 stitches together. All the way around until you come to your first stitch. When you come to that first stitch, join with a slip stitch into the top of the starting chain 3. At the end of your round 17, you're going to have a total of 18 stitches. Join with a slip stitch into the top of that first stitch and chain 2. You're then going to work a double crochet into the top of your next stitch. This is going to count as a double crochet 2 together. You're then going to work for around 18 double crochet 2 togethers over each stitch all the way around. When you come all the way around, you're going to have a total of 9 stitches. You can join with a slip stitch into the top of that first stitch, and you're going to fasten off, leaving a little bit of a long tail. You're then going to take your long tail and a yarn needle and thread it through. And then I like to work this part on the inside, so you're going to stick your tail through to the inside of your hat and then use that tail to sew the top of your hat closed. Now for me, I'm just simply inserting my hook in and out through the top part of my hat, through the top stitches. And once you come all the way around, you're simply going to pull the top of your hat closed and secure. You're then going to go ahead and weave in your ends. Trim off any tails. Turn your hat right side out, and that is your Little Rock Slouch Hat. You can then go ahead, add a pom-pom. You'll have a little bit of yarn left over if you'd like, or you can use a full fur one or one of your choice, or you can wear it without, but that is how you work the Little Rock Slouch Hat. So thank you so much for joining me. And once again, while you're here, I invite you to subscribe, take a look around. If you happen to make the hat, be sure to share it on social media, tag Rich Textures Crochet, and I'll come by and admire it. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.